we have not yet talked about somehow this week the giant hat of Brian Robinson. Did you see the giant hat of Brian Robinson?
No.
Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay. It's about par for the
Stugotz.
course. Yeah, it's about par for the course. I mean,
He's
that's
a
just
starting running back for the Washington Commanders.
He is. I thought it was Antonio Gibson.
I mean, they share the responsibilities, but I mean, Robinson had a fairly noteworthy story before
Thunder
the year.
and Lightning.
I mean,
he was
He was shot.
He was shot before
the season.
oh, that guy. Yes. Yeah. Good player. Yes.
Good
really
player.
good player.
The guy who was shot.
Now he's in the
Yes.
business of selling hats.
Yeah. Big hats.
Giant hats. It's hard to
Can you
explain
Google
to
it so you know
somebody
what
who
we're
has
talking
it. Well,
about?
but let's explain to the audience that has not seen it. The hat, it's a baseball cap that is about, 5 times the size of a normal baseball cap?
It's more than that. It's got to be like 50 times the size. It's huge. Is there a little hat inside of it that's on his hat? I don't understand the mechanics of it.
It looks like a hat that belongs on the head of a mascot.
Oh,
Right.
Mrs. Met's hat.
It looks, like those things on Twitter where someone would be like, I'm gonna Photoshop the size of this thing bigger every day
Yes.
until X happens.
Like when Kyle Kuzma wore that sweater and then people photoshopped it and made it even bigger of a sweater.
Right. And like you do it like I think there's someone who's been putting like a kid's character, I forget exactly, like is it Paddington Bear? Does that sound right? Like into a movie, has been photoshopping Paddington Bear into a movie every day for like 330 straight days.
Yes,
and
I
so
have
like,
seen this.
So like this is a thing, and it honestly seems like day 57 of photoshopping a hat bigger, except it's actually a hat that he's wearing on his head. And he said after the game, when asked about it, I know the person who's selling these. I can give you their information if you want it. So he was hawking a product which was a comically oversized hat.
That person has to have sold out of giant hats, right?
It looked like a prop, though. It didn't look like something you would ever wear.
It looked like in Scary Movie 3 when the sheriff gets in the car and her hat starts getting bigger, and then every time they cut back to her, the hat is bigger, and then she can't close the door because the hat's too big.
Since he wore the hat, they've had a 2,000% increase in sales. Like, it's crazy.
But if you're buying that hat because you saw Brian Robinson wear it, like, when are you going to wear that? How are you going to wear that?
Well, they have
Why
hats.
are you gonna
They have
wear
hats
that?
for every occasion at Noggin Boss. They were on Shark Tank. They have USA
Yes.
hats. So if you want to get in the spirit for the World Cup,
An oversized one.
They were
Yeah.
on Shark Tank. I would love to see how that segment went. How did that segment
Well, someone
go?
invested. One of the sharks invested.
It's a terrible hat. I can't see anybody
I
wearing
feel like
that.
it would fit your head normally, though.
oh, you want to play the game? How much is a Noggin Boss hat?
Yeah, I'll guess a normal hat probably goes for $30. I think for the novelty, I'm gonna guess $37 for a Noggin Boss.
I'm going to go 55.
Okay, Stugotz.
I'm going to go 60.
Okay, Dan.
$100.
It is $75 for a Noggin
What?
Boss.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stugotz won?
Wow.
The
Yes,
only,
I did.
The
No,
only
Dan
thing
won.
Well,
that
Dan
would,
went over.
the only thing that would make me think that somebody would like the only use I can imagine for it is like to protect you from rain.
An
it would-
umbrella hat.
Right, exactly. It's like an umbrella hat because
Why
it
are
like
you so pragmatic?
But it is. It's about the size.
I'm
It's
trying to
about the
find
size of
use.
an umbrella. It is about the
I'm
surprise.
trying to find the use for why
Shade.
anyone would wear this.
But that would be a good use, right? Like, you would
Yeah.
buy it for that. You
Well,
in
no,
particular.
I wouldn't.
No, yes,
No, I
you would.
wouldn't.
It's
Right.
not like a tall hat, so it's not like if you have tall hair, it's fitting you that way. It's a wide hat.
It's
It's
gotta-
for if you have a giant head.
No, but it has to have, like you said, like a hat within a hat. It's got to have like a thing that grips around your skull. It would otherwise it's just balancing on the top of your head. There's got to be something that upsets your hair.
I like that there's a section on their website that says our story as if it's something deeper than we wanted to make silly hats.
There has
Can
to
you
be a
read us their
story.
What is their
story?
story?
No, there has to be a story.
Well, their story is founded in 2019. Noggin Boss was formed by two best friends who love all things faith, family, sports, business, and charity. Sean and Gabe are former college athletes, club team coaches, and have a strong history of building successful businesses. They saw an opportunity to create something fun and innovative to help you promote the things you love and are passionate about. That's the whole story.
This is so American. It's like, oh, you guys have hats in Europe? We have giant hats.
Mhm.
right.
We need
Ours are bigger.
We need to
Yes.
ship 3,000 of these to Qatar for the U.S.-Netherlands game on Saturday. We need all the American fans there wearing giant hats.
But Damon John is like a fashion mogul, right? Like he is, right?
Yeah, he was the founder of FUBU.
He thought it was a good idea. He has 30% of the company now. He invested in this company.
How much equity? Like, how much did he pay for, though? I need to know the...
$50,000.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
We need to normalize, and this is going to sound horrible, and I acknowledge that on the front end. We need to normalize the idea of championship noggin bosses so that we have the losing team's hats made and then sent somewhere off into the distance where it's like, here's a hat that's comically large for a team that didn't win anything ever.
To wear with your
like the 2022 Cincinnati Bengals a Super Bowl winning noggin bosses.
Yeah, like you can find it at Goodwill or something. That'd be awesome.
Find it at a thrift store somewhere.
Yeah.
But we need to get the champions to wear it. So like this year, like Robert Kraft is wearing one when the Patriots inevitably win the Super Bowl again.
I like the idea of the losing hats ending up on Extreme Cheapskates because that's where they found them in the thrift stores.
But the guy's using it as like a mixing bowl.
I was going to say or a bathtub. He's using secondary use.
Where he stores his used toothpaste.
Serving guacamole at his Super Bowl party out of the noggin boss.
No, this would be a paella. It's so large. It's not guacamole. That's an enormous amount of guacamole.
Paella. I love the visual of that.